Take a look at this deeply caramelized, crispy crust, giving way to an edge-to-edge, juicy, medium-rare interior. Reproducing this result at home is a matter of applying basic food science and precise temperature control. You only need 5 specific things for this process: a 1.5 to 2 inch thick boneless ribeye, a heavy cast iron skillet, an instant read thermometer, kosher salt, and a few simple aromatics. When you replace simple guesswork with applied chemistry, you can deliver professional quality results on a standard home stove. Home cooks often struggle because they leave surface moisture on the steak. If the meat is wet when it hits a hot pan, it steams instead of searing. We prevent this by patting the meat completely dry with paper towels, then generously coating both sides with coarse kosher salt. The salt crystals initiate a phase of osmosis, drawing moisture out of the muscle fibers. That extracted moisture quickly dissolves the salt, creating a concentrated liquid brine pooling on the surface. Over the next 3 days, diffusion takes over. The salty brine sinks back down, penetrating deeply between the tissue strands. This absorbed salt denatures the protein strings, physically loosening the tight bundles for a more tender bite. Leaving the steak uncovered in the fridge simultaneously dehydrates the outer surface, prepping it for an instant, aggressive crust. Pull the steak from the fridge 30 to 45 minutes before cooking. If cold meat goes into a hot pan, it seizes up and cooks unevenly. This 72-hour exercise in patience alters the cellular structure of the meat. Before the steak ever touches the heat, it is exceptionally tender and primed for a crust. Heat a heavy cast iron skillet until it is smoking hot. Add a thin layer of a high smoke point oil, like avocado or canola. Lay the steak gently into the pan, tilting it away from your body. Once it makes contact, leave it strictly untouched. This dynamic temperature scale shows what happens as heat pushes past a 300-degree Fahrenheit threshold. The extreme, dry heat triggers the Maillard reaction, causing amino acids and sugars to rapidly collide and form a brown crust layer. It only takes 1.5 to 2 minutes of this intense, undisturbed heat per side to create hundreds of complex new flavor compounds. Think of the hot skillet as a thermodynamic tool. This short burst of extreme heat generates significant flavor depth on the surface of the meat. When you flip the steak to sear the reverse side, drop the burner to medium-low. If you introduce butter, smashed garlic, shallots, and fresh thyme at searing temperatures, the dairy solids will instantly scorch and turn the flavor bitter. Tilt the pan toward you, taking a spoon to continuously cascade the foaming golden butter over the steak for 2 minutes. The hot fat accelerates the cooking of the top side while infusing the crust with rich, aromatic oils to lock in moisture. Never rely on guesswork or touch to test for doneness. Use an instant read thermometer inserted directly into the center and pull the meat at exactly 120 to 125 degrees Fahrenheit. The butter baste acts as the crucial bridge between a harsh, violent sear and a delicate finish. It ensures the steak builds complex flavor while hitting a precise medium-rare target. Immediately transfer the steak to a wire cooling rack and pour browned aromatics over the top. Enforce a strict 5 to 10 minute resting period. This graph illustrates carryover cooking. After the external heat drops to 0, residual thermal energy drives the core temperature up by 5 to 10 degrees. This resting period allows heat-stressed muscle fibers to relax, redistributing liquid evenly throughout the steak. Slicing into the meat too early causes these unredistributed juices to immediately bleed out onto the cutting board, leaving the interior dry. Make your final cut against the grain. The steak falls open to reveal a flawless, edge-to-edge pink interior. Mastering the chemistry of dry brining, the thermodynamics of searing, and the physics of resting gives you total control over the cooking process.